Hello and welcome to session 2 of Shinobi Vendetta, which is a hack of Blades in the Dark, written by Sherry Stewart. And it takes an anime cyber ninja concept and runs with it, puts it into the Blades setting. So the idea is we've got this massive sprawling city that goes forever with these sort of bracketed neighborhoods. There are corporations, major corporations, the Zaibatsu, that have control. There is a giant beanstalk to orbit where the Mikado lives. The shogunate protects the Mikado from bad things. It's not clear who's in charge. There's all of that going on. Very anime, very cyberpunk. It is not a realistic depiction of culture in any way, shape, or form. And one of the ideas is that we have these 5 clans of shinobi. They're cyber ninja. They operate, each of them has a corporation they're more tightly affiliated with, but they take jobs all sorts of places. They're dark figures. But what our PCs have realized, they have learned, is that it isn't supposed to be that way. Somewhere in their training overlays, the sort of mind control and implants that the shinobi get, our PCs have realized that in fact the shinobi are supposed to be underground figures of justice, fighting for people and keeping the authorities and the corporations balanced there with society. And somehow that has become corrupted. And the clan as a whole believes in the mission, the general mission, but our players realize that that's a lie. And so our PCs are working behind the scenes out in the greater world, and even behind the scenes in their own clan, to try and find out how this happened, who did this, how they can turn this around, to uncover the secrets. So our PCs know each other. They operate in a cell. They all realize they've all been awoken. They have a cell representative. They know that there's some other cells out there, and they have a person who comes and gives them missions to work for that cell. They're battling against the forces out there in the broader world. They're battling against corporations. They're battling against the other shinobi clans. They're battling against their own clan. So it is a tense thing. Our cyber ninja are sweet ninjas. At the start, they're just awesomely competent. They have abilities based on their role, which echo quite closely the Blades in the Dark roles. But they also have sources, meaning the kinds of sources for their powers, like nanotech or like mimetic overlays, those kinds of things. What I'm going to have us do here is just real quick, I'm going to have our players give us the 30-second elevator pitch on who their character is, and establish pronouns and all of that. Before I go too much further, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. This is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is an online gaming community, online gaming club. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. We use safety tools, and I know that this will make some people turn off the video. I don't care. So let me tell you what the safety tools are that we have in play. Right now we have lines and veils. First of all, these are lines are things that we're just not going to have on screen, period. It's not going to be in the game. We're not going to deal with it, which includes at this point harm to children, harm to animals, and sexual assault. Those are off the table. And then veils are things that we're going to elide or we're going to fade to black when these elements come up. And that includes eye injuries, sexual content, suicide, graphic medical / illness. So those things are things we're going to fade to black on. To support that, in case we hit things that aren't included in there that do bother people, do hit on something that they have a phobia about or they find problematic. We have the X card as our other safety tool in play. So that's just to give us a quick sense of what that is. Puckett, give us the elevator pitch on your character Fuji.
I'm Puckett, he, him pronouns. Taiji Nakazawa, codename Fuji, is more or less a tank, a damage sponge, bullet sponge, and if necessary, somebody that can run through walls, create escape routes, and just generally rain down some havoc. But very much frontline fighter, kind of obvious. So
that seems fair. Jamie, tell us about your character.
So, hi, Jamie, they, them pronouns, please. I'm playing the Kitsune playbook, Cypher Nayoko, alias Himitsu. Himitsu is the opposite of Fuji. Himitsu used to have a body a long time ago. That is no longer available to them. They are using a borrowed body. It kind of looks like a metallic skeleton, but in actuality, because this is weird cyberpunk, it is a psychic machine that responds to Himitsu's psychic abilities. Himitsu likes to wear the bodies and skins of other people. It makes them more comfortable. Yeah, that's pretty much their elevator pitch.
Excellent. And then Gerwin, tell us what you're imagining for your character now, Dragon. So Gerwin is joining us this session. He'll be here for the rest of the series.
My character is very much a, the classic image of a Japanese archer. So I'm playing the Dragon playbook, which is a ranged combatant. In this case, rather than using sniper rifles, basically with the old-fashioned but cyberized Japanese longbow. So big hat, big conical hat, to all the other accoutrements of the traditional Japanese archer, and very much a ranged combatant and sniper.
Awesome. And what did you take for your abilities?
My source I took is Chi Field.
Okay.
And the first ability I took out of that was Soul Sense.
Okay. Oh yeah,
to be able to see through things and detect things around me. And for my roll ability, I took Fiery, which allows me to either hit or miss a single target without actually having to worry about collateral damage to other people.
That is nice.
And get potency on my attacks.
You've got 2 more dots in your skills. It looks like you've got 7 in of the 9 you'll end up with. Tell me, for the chi field, we've imagined it as the channeling of internal energy. Do you think that's purely a physical, like a mental training, or is there a physical component to it? How do you think that works in this?
No, this is he doesn't so much tap into his own chi, into her own chi. She taps into the dragon lines and ley lines, and actually pulls on the chi of the world around rather than their own.
Nice. I like that. And it is, when we see it on screen in the anime, what's the special effect we see when that happens?
Well, the normal attacks are when they fire, there's this sort of like heat haze around them. So just normal attacks, but that the special attack, the one where you shout out the name right as you're actually firing it, there's a burst of flaming chi energy that comes up through the body and just bursts out the back, almost makes it look like fiery wings.
Nice. And you said she, her pronouns for
That's
for
right, yes.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do today is we are going to start by looking at the cell mechanics the cell being our crew. We're then going to resolve downtime for our returning dragon and Oni. And then we will do some RP time to kind of set some things up. That's one of the phases that we're putting in here. And then we'll set up for another mission. So let's start with the cell. So at the start of the game, you will have a cell, and this is your crew. Rather than being different types of crews like there are in our source, the Blades in the Dark, we have one kind of crew, and you will make some decisions about that. So what you're going to start with is our cell there in the center, and you're going to pick one of the things that are connected to it on that sort of graphic. One is mission planner, which means that for X type of missions, you'll choose one. You get an extra die for your engagement roll. Or a lore keeper, which means you get +2 secrets when you do an extraction mission. I'll explain what secrets mean in a second. Or edge info or edge gear. Edges are things that when you take those, they act as, it's like turf in Blades. They will make it easier for you to go up in rank for your crew. So that's the basics of it. Our currency in this game is secrets. Secrets are what you collect. You can store secrets and use them on the cell itself, but you also use secrets as a currency that you can spend. And if you look on the character sheet, you can see that you will stash secrets into your legend. And when you fill up one of those rows, you're going to get a special thing for a special, essentially, secret that you're going to be able to set about the world when you fill that in. And you can choose which of the rows you want to fill in about that. And that can be game-changing revelations that you get to make at that point. But on the cell itself, you're going to pick one of those blocks that are next to your cell, and then you're also going to get a special ability. We have a list of those there, and you're also going to get a couple of upgrades, which are down at the bottom. We've got cell upgrades, we've got layer, we've got quality to gears, we've got the training thing. That I've got to adjust the names on that one. But those are our picks there. So what I would like to do is start. We've got then 4 choices for this, and I'm going to fix this thing here for assess. We can act. Let me fix this. Let's do this. Let's start, and then risking asking an open question to the table. Let's start with the choice of what is our link in that cell sheet. Do we want mission planner? Do we want one of the edges? Do we want lore keeper? Any thoughts on that? Puckett, do you have a sense of maybe what you would like your cell to start with?
The thing that grabbed me right off the bat was the mission planner, because extraction, the +2 secrets for extraction only triggers on extraction missions.
True.
So I was looking
and
at
the mission planner would be a +1 engagement roll for, you would set which kind of mission. So it is narrow a little bit like the lore keeper, just to be
I
clear
see.
about that.
In that case, what does edge info give us?
That would essentially give you a box in edge, and it means that in terms of going up to another tier with your cell, it makes it that much easier.
Okay. Darn. I think I would still lean toward mission planner unless somebody has a different idea.
Jamie, what do you think?
I'm actually drawn to having more secrets. I'm drawn to the lore keeper.
Certainly currency is nice. Gerwin, thoughts for you?
I'm really split. I think the mission planner is a good idea, but I actually quite like the idea of failing engagement roles because I think it leads to much more interesting games. I'm sorry about the music. My next door neighbor with our very thin walls has decided right now is the exact right time to start playing stuff. So you'll occasionally get Polish rock coming through at some point. But I quite like the idea of I quite like the idea of either lawkeeper or mission planner.
Okay. We're gonna set those two aside for a bit, and we'll come back and ask that question when we're done with other things. What I want to do is we've got 3 picks to make on here. One is the special abilities, and actually we'll give you 3 upgrades just to have each of you pick an upgrade because that's more fun that way. So this is another one where we're going to look at this big list of special abilities and pick one. And I think as a group, we should look at those and make that decision. Let me start with you this time, Jamie. Looking at the special abilities list, and it's a lot of stuff. Apologize, dump that there. Any of those look appealing to you, or do you have questions about what they might mean?
I'm gonna admit I was trying to read them, but then I looked at yokai favors and I was so distracted. But let me take another look.
Sure.
I tend to go for the boring choices. I mean, I don't think they're boring, but adding an action rating is always fun for me. Aside from that, I would say. Ooh. Mm. I also like Forged in Fire.
Yeah, the plus die to a resistance roll is very nice.
Yeah. So those are my
Those
2
are
bets, but they're all awesome, honestly. So
Gerwin, looking at that list, are there any of those that you dig particularly?
I'm thinking Forged in Fire as well.
Puckett, would you be good with Forged in Fire?
Two seconds,
Sure.
trying to read it. Yeah.
Okay, then let's take that as the special ability for our cell. And then we'll come back to choosing your contact. But you're going to get cell upgrades. Each of you is going to pick 1 box. Some of these cost more to do. For example, hardened as a cell upgrade, it costs 4 picks to get that. Mastery as a training, that means extra experience when you train on special abilities. The other ones, the ones that are on the layer up top, there's actually sort of 2 levels to those. You know, whether you get just basic bikes, you get really super sweet bikes kind of thing. So that's what that is. Gerwin, let me start with you. Looking at the cell upgrades and then layer quality and training, is there any of those? Are there any of those that you're like, that's the one we want?
Oh, let's have a look. I take it a skiff is the flying vehicle. Is that right?
Yes.
So,
Yep.
and that takes 2 upgrades to buy, is it?
There's a basic level and then there's a super sweet advanced level.
I quite like the idea of bikes. I may have
Okay.
bought may have watched a bit too much anime recently, but
Absolutely.
I love the idea of light cycles and high-speed bike chases through the city.
So you would all have you have a place to keep them, and you all have unique bikes of your own that you can ride, and we'll ask about what those are. So we'll put that there. Puckett, what would you like to make as your pick for the upgrades, layer, quality training? What do you think?
So we're only looking at the stuff in the gray on the right. We're not looking underneath the cell upgrades, like, because I was looking at rigging.
Yep, rigging is fine. Yep, that's a pick if you want to do that. It means you'll always get 2 extra items when you go out on a mission. Do you want that?
Let me think about that for a second while I
Okay.
read through the rest of them. If you
Sure,
could go on to Jammy.
Jammy.
I need to know what yokai favors are.
So in this world, there are 2 things that exist that I kind of didn't go over last time. One is that there are kami, there are the spirits out there, but they're actually nanokami. They are clouds of nanites that some believe have just like gotten weird programming, but some other people believe that they're actually spirits that have come down and taken over these clouds. So those are out there. Then there are yokai. What yokai are is there is a problem that happens to robots and animated things is that they will break their programming and go out and essentially rework themselves to be creatures like robot Kappa or things like that. And they are found all over the place. Some of them kind of hide themselves. There's a lot of robots that are out there, and no one knows how or why that infection occurs. But that's what they are. Essentially, is favors from the sort of underground network of robo monsters.
Oh my gosh! The moment they're robots, I have to pick it.
Okay. So you have connections there. I imagine that probably you have connections through your club with them, coming back and forth on that.
Ooh, I'd like to have a robot Kappa that hides in the bathroom or something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. And we'll come back when we do the RP. I'll have you describe sort of what they look like. Puckett, if we come back to you.
One question: what does the workshop do for us?
Oh, so workshop essentially, if you're doing like creating gear or items during downtime, it will add potency to that. Will make it easier to do that.
You know what? Let's just go with rigging.
Okay.
I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to need more gear than we think.
Okay.
Good
And
choice.
I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to click on Lore Keeper, and I'm going to click on Mission Planner, and we will have you choose what the mission planner is at a point. Well, I'll say when we go into mission, do you want to have your mission planner be the one for this? And we'll do that. So we'll give you those 2 to start. So we're going to go to downtime actions, and come back to the cell. You get 2 rep permission to targets of higher tier, which it was. You'll get 1. So we're going to put 3 clicks on that. And rep means amongst the cells that you have, amongst the sort of network of within your clan, how much they trust you, how much they believe in you. And we're going to give you, this is a standard result. So you're going to get 6 secrets. So my suggestion is that everybody mark a secret, and we'll put the other 3 in the holding. And like standard blades in the dark, secrets are a currency, so they can be spent during downtime to get an extra action or to boost an action. So you're used in that same way. And then our heat, let's see. Was this a high profile target? No. Wasn't a direct control of another faction, not at war. Yes, there was a little bit. Yeah, I remember there being some neck smashing during last time. So I think we're going to give you 3 heat from that. And the heat and the suspicion is within your clan, like they begin to like, what are they doing? What's going on? What's happening? That's where that is represented. And then we're still in heat 0 to 3. So let me pull up my the what do you call it? The roller here, which I have put. There's the names and links page. Open that up. And I'm going to roll one of these, this sort of lonely pink D6. I'm going to re-roll that. And I get a 6 on that. So downtime. All right. So we'll come back to that. A conflicting mission. We will come back on that. So between missions, you can pursue 2 downtime actions from the list. You can perform an additional one by spending 1 secret or 1 rep, and you can add a d6 to the roll if you get help from a friend or contact. And the most common one, of course, is to indulge vice to clear out some of the stress that your character has. And then we've got some other activities, acquiring assets. When you acquire an asset, we roll, and you don't have to define the asset until we go into a mission. You can say, well, I think the asset that we created was this. I think that's a little bit easier to work with. You can build a long-term project, which is kind of anything that you want to do. A big cover for that. If you're wounded, you can do healing. You can reduce the heat on your crew, or you can train, marking XP for an attribute or for your playbook. So Puckett, what do you want to do for your first downtime action?
Well, let's see. I don't think it's time to indulge a vice just yet because I only have the 4. I'd like to reduce heat on the crew.
Okay. So how do you think you do that? What is the work that you do within the clan to help reduce that? Probably be one of your weakened skills, I'm going to assume. How would you do that?
I think, given how Fuji tends to operate, he'd be inclined to go visit certain people and encourage them to downplay and minimize the actual effect and impact of what happened, as well as the damage. Just to, in general, say that it was a little bit overblown. The stories that are going around are a little overwrought, at the risk of people who don't cooperate disappearing.
Sure, that sounds like distract to me. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
Okay, then let's have you roll a d6.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and re-roll that lone pink dice in front of the others. That gave me a 3.
You 3. So we will click your result, the heat on the cell, down by 1. So go back down to 2. Jamie, what do you want to do for your downtime action?
I think it's kind of obvious.
I think so. So you've got all of your stats are 2, so your lowest is a 2.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I learned that the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll roll with 2 dice. So what I'm doing is I am I'm going to see Midnight Kano. I'm going to offer, yeah, I think I'm going to offer my services as a medium for hire as a way to relax.
So when
mhm.
you go and do that, what is for you, what is it about it that helps relieve the tension and the stress of going out on these missions?
I think it's you know what it's like when you dream but you're someone else, like you're not yourself in the dream. So it sort of feels like that, like I get to forget and take on someone else's life for a while, just completely submerge myself in that. But you can see how it can go wrong very quickly. But it's a good way to just come back to center and be grounded.
Do you think you're as a medium, is it that are you bleeding at all some of your own pressures into other people, or is it very much you kind of processing and changing the pressures within?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where uh, when if I choose specific type of people and experiences that resonate with my own, it'll be easier to release. So I think I do go out of my way to try to find someone who, uh, like that person we helped last time, was taken advantage of, was used up, like that kind of situation to help process.
I like that. So let's have you roll 2d6.
Okay, so yeah, I'll roll 2d6. Okay, okay. Woohoo, 5 is the highest.
Look at that. That's
Yeah, phew.
see, you know, I like it when people get the 2s and 3s, because then they have to make that judgment about do I push it?
Yeah, exactly. Because like if I was like, Okay, so I'm down to 1 stress. Nice.
Excellent. Gerwin, what would you like to have Himitsu do for her downtime action here?
Sorry, Himitsu's me. I
Oh,
think.
sorry, not him.
Is that right?
Sorry, Tomoe.
Mhm.
There's no point me going and actually visiting a vice vendor yet, because I don't have any stress at the moment.
Yep.
But I think Tomoe is very much into street racing as a means of blowing off stress, and illegal street racing, more to the point. We've got these lovely bikes that she's not particularly good at maintaining, but she's got a real passion for. She's got red line fever. She likes to go fast and go faster. I think I'm.
Do you want to soup up your bike?
Can I ask a favor?
Sure.
I don't know at this point. Would I be able to do this as a flashback later on?
For the downtime actions?
Yeah.
Generally, we don't do that. Downtime is usually done as its own segment.
Okay. In which case, then I've not played the character yet. I really don't have many motivations at this point. I think I'm going to start a long-term project.
Okay. And what do you want to call that project? What kind of thing do you think you're working on, or do you want to kind of leave that open?
I think I'm working on upgrading one of the bikes at the shop.
Okay. Let's make that a.
Do you remember Bubblegum Crisis?
Yes.
You know the bikes that they had in that turned into mechs.
Okay. That makes sense. So let's have you then. What do you want to roll for that? What do you think is a appropriate skill?
I think I'm gonna.
Maybe spy for picking up plans for that kind of thing.
I think so. Yes. I not specifically plans at this point. I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find someone who actually has one of these bikes,
Mm-hmm.
so I can eventually try and steal it.
That sounds good. So let's have you roll a d6.
That's a 1.
That is a 1. So you'll get 1 tick on your sweet bike. There we go. We'll put that there. Let's come back to our Oni, back to Fuji. What do you want to do for your second downtime action?
Really quick. Did we actually get any playbook advancement XP at the end of the last session?
I will distribute out your XP here in just a sec.
Okay. I think what I would like to do with my second downtime move is training.
Okay.
And I would like to train. 2 seconds while I scroll back over. I would like to get some XP in ACT.
Okay.
So it's telling me that I've clicked on a checkbox that's not visible. When I try to add that 1 XP in the checkbox.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think that's...
Yeah, I did that before. You can just say toggle anyway, and it should show up. Yeah,
it does.
I did that last time.
I just didn't know if I was supposed to put it there someplace else.
No, that's a good question. All right. So you'll do that training. What do you think that training involves?
It's just standard martial arts training. I'm standing there with the wooden dummy that has the rope around it, and I'm just practicing my striking, my kicks, elbows, knees, that sort of thing.
I like that. And then, Jimmy, what do you want for your downtime action?
Yeah, I think I'm caught between. Now I'm going to go with my gut. I'm also going to start a long-term project. I want to create a haven for the yokai.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to roll that with?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it with. I think I'm going to do it with insinuate, because I'm going to try to. I have to be careful about it. I'm going to try to look for a place that's off the grid, but the yokai can still access. And I don't want people to know what I'm doing.
That sounds good. Let's have you roll.
Okay, so it's 2 dice. Oh my gosh, where are the tabs? Okay, there we are. Ooh, highest is a 6. Dang. Oh my gosh, I hope I don't roll badly there. Oh my gosh.
That is good. So long-term project means you get 3 segments, so halfway there. There we go. So halfway. And then back to you, Gerwin, back to Tomoe. What do you want for your second downtime action?
I think I'm going to train as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to train. ACT.
Okay. Puckett, let's come back and let's do the XP things that we talked about. I'm going to give you 1 XP just flat for the session.
Okay.
And then let me ask you the XP questions. I don't think you would have record XP for desperate action, so that's side. Do you think you addressed a challenge with violence or threats?
As I recall, I punched a couple of people in the neck.
Yes. So I'm going to give you 2 XP for that. So we're at 3. And then the question is, at the end of session, you've expressed your beliefs, dived heritage, or background. What I like to ask is, what did we learn about your character last time?
Violence is always a solution.
Okay. So always believes to go to that. Okay, I'll give you a point for showing us that.
Okay.
Do you think? I don't think your problem. We don't think your obsessions, ambitions, or faults caused a problem during the session, did they? No,
I don't think so.
All right. Let's come then to our Kitsune, to Himitsu. Did you address a tough challenge with deception or influence?
Yeah, I think because I insisted on coming through the front door with dressed as or with the facade of the someone else.
Absolutely. So that's 2 we'll give you for that. And then, so we get 3 total right now. What did we learn about your character last time?
I think we learned that my character is surprisingly, well, I don't want to say surprisingly, is compassionate. I took on the form and I didn't want to lose it to make sure that we could help this person trying to heal from their trauma. And I also brought an armor, which is heavy, just to make
Yeah.
sure they'd be protected.
So yeah, well, so there'll be another point. So we'll give you 4. Do you think that your obsessions, ambitions, or faults caused a problem during the session?
Not yet.
Not
Yeah.
yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
that
will go
means
full on into that
Yeah.
this time.
you've got 4 points to spend to for your characters spread out there.
How much is it to unlock a new ability again? Like
It is 8 boxes for a playbook advancement.
got it.
So let's, what we do in this segment sort of post downtime is we're going to check in, and we're going to have each of you call a scene. You can call it with an NPC. You can call it just so we can see what their daily lives are like. Can learn something about the clan as a whole. So let's start with Fuji. What kind of scene do you want, Fuji? What do we want to see in the aftermath of this mission?
Is it okay if I drag other characters, if I have a scene with other players?
Absolutely, yeah. Feel
Okay.
free to do that.
Because I think I'd like to do kind of a debrief
Okay.
with Himitsu,
All right.
just to see what Himitsu thought went right, went wrong, could have been done better, how he could have strategized more effectively, and so on.
So where does this scene take place? Where are we in the clan facility? Are we off-site? What do you think?
I think we're walking along a river in a small garden,
Okay.
maybe with cups of coffee.
So let's have you start.
So how do you think we did?
Well, I think it'll depend on how Sateu has fared, but I think overall, I think you controlled yourself fairly well, all things considered. Only 2 neck smash, not bad.
Well, and I don't think that they're actually dead, so there is that. I mean, that's a better outcome than normal.
Yes, absolutely. Restraint, such a miracle from you. But I do admire what we were able to do and so quickly at that. But how do you feel about it, Fuji?
As strange as this sounds, I wish we could have done it with slightly more stealth. I wish we could have done it in a way in which I didn't need to use violence, simply because it raised our profile. It's, you know, that I don't have a problem resorting to it, but, and I frown, I don't like the added attention. It's best when we can work quietly. It gives us an advantage in the future. It means our opponents don't see us coming.
Absolutely. I think that's something we can definitely work on together as we continue our sacred mission.
But in the meantime, at least you know that I will stand in front of you and take bullets and crack skulls.
Absolutely. I can always count on you to do that. And also, how many times do I have to tell you? I can't drink coffee anymore in this body, so you'll have to drink mine as well.
Twist my arm.
And coffee for a ninja? Fuji? Really?
I like the flavor.
Don't let anybody else hear you say that. This gaijin crap.
Look, next time, out of deference to your delicate sensibilities, I'll drink matcha.
Not even like rice roasted tea, but all right, fine. That's good. Here, in the meantime, my coffee. And I expect to see you later. It's open karaoke night at the Heartbreak Hotel.
You know that I can't carry a tune.
That's why we like having you. It's called entertainment.
And here I just thought that you wanted me there because you realized that I could clear the room and we'd have it to ourselves.
Well, if you came in wearing a little less, then I'd be inclined.
The shade. The unmitigated shade.
Look, I'll pick out an outfit for you, and if you want quality time, you just have to say so.
I hang my head and shake it a little bit. I'm not sure which is worse. Getting shot or this. No, I am sure it's this. Getting shot is quick.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I think we just walk on in quiet, listening to birds.
Jamie, let's have a scene for Himitsu.
Yeah, I think what I'd like is definitely hanging out at the bar, hanging out with the yokai, but I'm also wondering if I could say that we're setting up something for Tomoe.
Okay.
Like maybe, I'm wondering if I have a regular who's a racer that comes by. So whether they're a rival or a friend is up to Tomoe. But let's pick a name.
Going to be right. It's much more fun.
Oh yeah, let's do it. So I'll get a jerkish name.
Okay.
I like. Let's see. These are also good. I think I'm gonna go with Zura. I like that name. That's really cool. I'm just gonna copy it into the chat.
So Zura comes in. They're regular, the street racer type. Okay.
And they look like that archetype of blonde and capable from the 90s, 80s anime, like that kind of vibe. They're a rich girl who races just because they're bored. And so I'm dressed as usual. I look like whatever people want me to look like, and every time Zura walks in, what they see is a really innocent looking redhead with freckles, hair everywhere in a mess, wearing a butler-esque bartender outfit, kind of like King from King of Fighters, like that kind of situation. Yeah, and I'm there, and I look over at Zura, and I'm trying to avoid looking at Tomoe, and I say, "Oh, I didn't know she was coming in today. Usually she comes in later. I'm sorry about this, Tomoe."
I'll sit at the bar. I'll stop. I'll look around. Oh, I think I still owe her money.
And probably we see, as would be classic, there's some of Zura's crew that come in behind. They're dressed in their similar uniforms, and Zura looks around and then makes a casual, slow beeline over to where you're at, Himitsu.
Hi, Zura. As brilliant and dashing as always, you did a great job. at that last race. Couldn't you have left your rival in one piece, though?
That's not what racing's about. Wouldn't you say so, Tomoe?
Racing is about winning. It's not necessarily about destroying your opposition. Can I have another, please?
Of course, of course.
She'll
The
do
usual.
that thing where she leans forward, puts her elbows on the bar, and says, "Destroy your opposition. You win forever."
If you destroy your opposition, there are no more races, and Tomoe will turn around and look at her. What do you want, Dora?
Does that thing where she kind of taps the bar. I believe that there were some credits that you owed me.
Yeah, I don't have them yet.
She looks down at the drink.
I'm good for it, though. Just give me a few days.
All right. That sounds good, though. You know,
Unless you want to
Or-
go double or nothing.
and I think the thing is that she's got her crew there. That maybe she would turn this down, but she can't. And she's like, all right.
Pick the time. I'll be there.
She says 3 days, Sector 7G.
You're on.
She nods, and she does that gesture to you, Himitsu, of drinks for my crew.
Absolutely, Zura. And on the house as always. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to shoot Himitsu a look at this. How come I have to pay?
How do you think I'm able to do this without the proper licenses? Once you get connections, we can talk.
I have another, please.
All right, all right.
I'm going through my sake incredibly quickly.
Let me ask you, Himitsu, before we cut away from that scene, if we do see your yokai, your kappa yokai, what do they look like?
Yeah, I think what they look like is they can actually like fold up to look really small and stoop over. But if needed, if you actually come close and they pull up to their full height, they're really big. They can unfold towards 7 feet tall. And they kind of look like, you can see the original robot underneath. They were originally, I think they used to dredge up stuff in the ocean nearby, which is quite far because the city goes on forever. But they escaped to the sewers and they just sort of like placed whatever components on them from other robots. So they kind of look like a tangled mess, but they have like cute big eyes, like Johnny Five from Short Circuit too. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Let me come to you, Tomoe, because this is an opportunity for us to kind of follow up on some of the questions that we didn't stop off on. You kind of described the hat and the dress. What does Tomoe Steel Crane, what do they look like physically?
Physically, they're quite a slight short woman. Dark black hair, slicked back, tied into a little top knot at the back that then goes down into a ponytail behind. When they channel the full power of the dragon lines out, that shreds and the hair just goes wild at that point, and they're very self-conscious about their hair. It's constantly tying it back and getting incredibly frustrated by it, but it's a symbol of status amongst at least her part of the clan, so she's required to actually have it. She's got a dark green leather jacket and racing trousers over the top. But they've got a holographic painting on the back, and the painting shifts and changes, and it's actually a hologram of a crane in flight over the moon.
Nice.
So you get the moon actually changing its aspect depending on the aspect of the moon at the time. You get the clouds coming in, and it actually mirrors the weather of the night sky.
And we've established the illegal street racing as your vice. We've got a sense of that. What is your cover identity? One of the ideas being that all of our ninja outside of the clan, they're required to have one solid cover identity that can fall back to, that they maintain. And what is that for you?
I run a noodle bar. I run a soba bar. One of these, they're not one of these walk-in ones. This is one of the little ones on the street where you've got the top front and you've got some chairs outside and the little curtain that you have to step through to actually get to it. And it's only a small one person operation, so I don't have any employees or anything else. But it's enough to get by.
And, yeah, it's it's one of those places where you've bought the spot. So given the irregular hours that you keep, you can pop it up whenever you want, and people in the district will tell others that it's open. Sorry, let's start this again. Who is, from amongst your deadly friends, who is your friend?
My friend is Yoshimoto Jiaoji, who is he's my trainer.
Okay.
In order
So,
to actually
within the clan or outside?
Outside of the clan.
Okay.
This isn't the skill set that I have. Isn't something that's inherent to the clan. It's not something they do themselves. Certain favors have to be called in to actually have me trained in this art, to actually bring that knowledge into the clan itself.
And what do they like? Do they have other students? Do they have a dojo? What do you imagine?
There's a mountain. Well, I say mountain. There's a large hill in the middle of the city. It's very much overgrown. It's crowded. It's got housing, and on top of the hill there's a tower. On top of the tower there is a garden. And in that garden, Zhao sits, and they're very the hermit on the mountain, the old master. They're very critical of their students. Tough love, but they hold them to high standards, and they don't really go out into the world very often.
And I imagine with sort of anime logic that we can have a scene with you in the clan stronghold, and then a scene there. There's travel time isn't even consideration. So all of that. And who is your rival?
My rival is Luthia Atikaya.
Okay.
Who's actually one of the mission planners for the clan.
Yes. And tight friends with your cell mate Himitsu. What is it about? Let me have Himitsu kind of set up what they set up last time, and then let me have you build on that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, by all means.
Himitsu, remind us what Luthia is to you.
Right. So they knew me from when I still had a body, when I was still working at the Bank of Memories. And they really like me. They're really fond of me and protective of me, even though I can't remember our previous connection.
And so given that, what is your connection to them, and why are they a rival?
She used to be my girlfriend.
Oh,
sorry, they used to be my other half. until I was ordered to kill their brother by the clan.
Oh, perfect.
Excellent. So that gives us a good sense. Anything else you want to tell us about your character?
And not really. It's pretty much. I'm going to develop the rest of it as we go through the game.
Okay. Let's take five or so minute break, and when we come back, we'll set up the next mission and get rolling into that. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Puckett, are you back? All right. So I'm going to set up a mission. And this begins actually with your group, because you do work together. And so the mission planners call you three in. And this is not from your cell leader. This is actually from the clan itself. And essentially you brought into one of the mission briefing rooms, and you can tell that this is one of those things where they're scrambling. Like this is something that has happened, and that they've called you in quickly to deal with. And your boss is one of those genocolony shinobi, and you can tell when they're agitated because you can see their skin roil as the colony creature in them gets overexcited or over nervous, and then they will say, "We have a mission that is time sensitive. You will have some time to do contacts, planning, research, but you're going to be doing some of that on the road as you're traveling to the site." Approximately 22 minutes ago, a ship went down in Okita district. It is a entertainment district, hotels, laser pachinko parlors, karaoke, all of that kind of thing. A Warren district, tight alleys, things like that. This vessel went down in Okita district because of the nature of enforcement around in that area. Authorities haven't followed up yet. We need you to go to Akita district, and we need you to kill anyone who was in that vessel.
Kill. Are they of a danger to the clan?
You are to kill anyone who is in that vessel. Do I make myself clear?
Understood. Do we have files on any of the passengers?
We do not.
Are we also to kill anyone who saw them?
If it seems like they were there to contact, speak, or work with anyone, yes, kill them. But otherwise, there's no need to clear the site beyond that.
Even if they sought medical attention for wounds incurred in the crash?
Good question. Yes, kill any doctors then.
Understood.
And it's one of the things where they they dismiss you, and you can tell that something is weird, bothersome, and as soon as you're out of that meeting, you will get a call from your cell leader. Essentially, you'll get that coded signal that'll come in on your comms that essentially says you need to come in, meet with us ASAP. So we kind of cut from that scene to another ring. Now, that was a fancy mission planning room with a holographic projection and big, all kinds of stuff. Here, we're in essentially the ninja supply closet at this point, kind of jammed in there. This is your superior. Let me check and see. I don't know if we gave them a name last time. We'll give them a name this time. We will call them Gensai. And Gensai says, we have a mission that is of time-sensitive nature.
I I take it we're not supposed to kill them?
Kill who? Wait, no, wait, what?
The ship that went down in the Okita district.
How do you know about that?
They
We were
asked us
just told to kill everyone.
Yeah, and this one asked about doctors. So
No.
They didn't ask us to kill, they ordered us to kill the people on board.
We received an old coded signal that came from the shogunate, came from up on the beanstalk. It was from a deep undercover ops on a set of codes that aren't used anymore. Essentially saying that they were needing to extract themselves, that they had some valuable information and cargo, and that they would be heading out. The thing is, what we believe is that this deep ops person went in undercover before the change happened to the clan. So they know how the clan used to be. We need you to get on site where this vehicle is. We need you to get them and whatever valuable cargo they have. And we need to do it quickly because we expect that agents of the shogunate will be also following up on this once they realize what has occurred.
Do you have any cadavers that we can use to drop on site so it looks like we fulfilled our mission that was given to us by the clan?
And I think that's kind of a prep step. So they will say, I will contact another cell, and I will have a set of bodies delivered on site. When you get on site, they'll give you a code to where those are located at. Gensai says, be careful. I don't know what kind of surveil the clan might be having over you in this. I hope not anything big, because as you say, they're doing this quickly. They may not have time to put anything into place. But otherwise, follow the mission parameters as best you can. Try not to harm innocents.
Understood, Gensai-san.
we'll do what we can for the clan.
I think as you said, we probably will see the three of you heading down to your bikes. You're probably on comms, contacting people to do setup and that kind of thing. So we'll kind of do a once around for asking questions or that. But before we do that, I need to know this. Tell me, Tomoe, what does your bike look like?
Oh, sorry, that's me, isn't it?
Yes.
Still getting used to that.
First session, yeah.
It's okay.
It's out of plastic shell, very, very shiny, very smooth flowing lines, split double axle at the front. So it actually it's a trike rather than a bike. It has two wheels very close together at the front. It also has this similar sort of holographic painting that's on the back of her jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly over the actual side of the bike, and it's got the symbol of a crane flying, but the wings extend back, and the bike itself can actually project a very, very short range hologram to show a set of wings going out of the back if she's been ultimately incredibly flashy.
Nice. Himitsu, what does your bike look like?
I think my bike looks like a mix of the Bubblegum Crisis bike and the Akira bike, but it's like all black, with the same. It kind of looks like the body I'm in, so with the glowing green lights and pink lights. So when I get on it, you can't tell the difference between where the bike ends and where my body begins.
Kind of
Uh,
plug into it when you kind of settle in.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. The bike goes around me. But I have a really loud, obnoxious sound system, so this is an excuse for the anime song moment.
Excellent. It's a non-copyright infringing version of that drum driving thing from that Akira soundtrack, which is
Absolutely.
one of the best pieces of
It
music
is.
ever made.
Really.
Fuji, what does your bike look like?
Well, I realize this is a shock considering that I like to collect pachinko parts and balls from the 20th century, but my other vice is that I have put a significant amount of time into making a motorcycle that looks exactly like a Cyclone from Robotech.
Nice.
Obviously, it doesn't function like one, but it looks
Not
like
yet.
Well, I know. Give me a year or two. A lot more money.
What color?
Oh, it's that. When I say identical to a Cyclone, I mean identical. So it's got that kind of grayish paint job on it.
Excellent. So the three of you, we do that shot of you racing along the different highways. We do cut through various neighborhoods. Each block has walls that separate it from the others, and we see you going through. Sometimes the road connectors are very high tech, and sometimes they're very primitive. As we see you heading on that way. So Himitsu, is there anything you want to do, like checking out or legwork or prep, calling out to contacts, anything like that ahead of time?
Oh yeah, I was gonna think of something and I got so distracted with the bike. I'm going to ask. Yeah, I want to gather info to find out what's the danger here. Like, I know that we have conflicting missions, but at the same time, what brought down the ship in the first place, and do we still have to worry about it?
Oh, okay. So you contact someone in the clan, you have them pull up the schematics, and they will get pieced together from various things. Because again, the city is not fully computer networked, so they have to pull things from bits and pieces, and you will get this shot of this pretty sophisticated small skiff heading along. You guess maybe a pilot, maybe up to 7 or 8 passengers at most. And you see it going along, and then you don't see anything come in. There's no gunfire or missiles or anything, but you see an explosion on one of the sort of stabilizers on it, like a bomb went off, and then it tilts out of the air, and it's clearly a controlled descent, but someone sabotaged this. Does that seem like fair info?
Absolutely.
Fuji, what about you? What are you doing, looking into legwork, that kind of thing, ahead of time on the road?
I think I'm calling my weapons manufacturer and seeing if he can suggest a way to me that I can make cadavers look like freshly killed corpses.
There's that pause where your weapon master's like, if you have access to a med tech, if there's a portadoc on site, you can break it open and get these materials. If there's a physician office, you can get it from them. Here are some chemicals, some ways that you can do that. It'll stand up to decent scrutiny.
Good enough. I was figuring I'd use some explosives, so there wouldn't be a whole lot to investigate anyway.
there's that sort of slight groan from this weapon maker who makes these beautiful weapons for you, and then you say explosives, and he, all right, fair enough.
It's not a subtle job. If it were, I'd be asking for something something delicate.
Fair enough. And what about for you, Tomoe? Anything you want to look into, check with, talk to contacts, that kind of thing?
Yes, I'm trying to see if the agent who went deep undercover actually left any sort of box or any sort of possessions behind.
Sure. I think this one actually is going to be a roll, just because we are kind of checking into the clan side of things and kind of digging in a alternate way. Maybe stalk. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, that seems fair with me.
Okay.
That's a 6.
There's a 6. You will be able to get some information, like the clan is clearly buried this person's ID.
I'm not looking specifically for information. I'm looking for something that they previously owned. I'm trying to find some way to actually get a touch of the cheese so I can track them.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fair. I think you'll kind of have to dig back through contacts, and eventually someone will find like an old cache of personal effects, and they'll be able to essentially take a scarf, put it on a drone, and have it sent to you on the road.
That's
Sound
fine.
fair?
And I will yeah, that's fine. And during the montage that we go in there with the music playing and everything, we will have this delivered there, and I'll literally rip the scarf off the drone as we're flying, as we're zooming in.
Excellent. So this is the time that I ask, do we need to do another once around, or should we just go to the engagement roll and get rolling? Any
That's
senses?
what flashbacks are for. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So
That's just my vote anyway.
so this is kind of an extraction mission. Do you want extraction to be your benefit for your cell, for your mission planner thing?
I do like the idea of having extra secrets, but
Well, you're going to get both.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you want the mission planner to do extractions? Do you want to save that for something else for later? Fuji?
Save for later?
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
anybody else have a different opinion on it?
No, I'm good.
All right. So is this particularly bold and daring? Yes. Fast, quickly. So you're going to get that. So we're at 2 dice. I don't think the plan's detail works either for or against you. Can your friends or contacts provide aid or insight? Anybody have a friend or a contact that you think would help? Okay, so we're at 2 dice. I think that we have the problem of the rapidity of getting on the road for this. So I think that's going to take us down to 1 die for the engagement roll. Who rolled the engagement roll last time? Do you remember?
I vote that our new character rolls because
Himitsu, would you roll us 1d6?
Oh no, Tomoe, go.
Oh, sorry, Tomoe. I'm gonna get once I get a name wrong.
Yeah, it's okay. I understand
all the time.
I understand. I'm exactly the same. Oh, sorry, I caught. I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry, that's a 5.
That is a 5.
Good job.
So we see you get into this district, and once you hit, it's a flashing, neon lit, kind of. There's rain coming down. Looks like the weather program here is trying to wash the streets clean. We see you come in. Signs everywhere. Lots of augmented reality visuals and things like that. And we will cut to you arriving, and you see this neighborhood. The ship has come down, crashed through a couple of small buildings, and the ship is still laying there. There's like a crowd of people still around. There are some local Doshans from the police boxes that have come and roped off the area. So they've kind of got this, under control. But there's a crowd. It looks like one of the nearby buildings, they're also got some people there because it looks like it might actually fall over eventually from the ship having impacted into it. But the ship is relatively intact here. But noisy neighborhood, lots of people, and you guess that probably there are people that have been taken away just because of the damage here, probably at whatever passes for the local hospital or doctor here. So Himitsu, let's start with you, and I mean Himitsu this time. What do you want to do? Kind of a risky situation here where we come in.
Yeah, I have a bold plan. Let's see if it works. I'm going to provide a distraction for the other two. And I look at Fuji and I say, remember what we talked about? You said it yourself. Subtlety, right? I will lead their eyes away from us so that you may do as you wish. And I'm going to, like, as I pass by, there's like a wanted poster on the side of the wall of like a local weirdo terrorist. You know those types, right? From the 90s anime, overly big, lunky guy with like huge cybernetic implants in them. I'm going to use my fox-shaped shadow ability. Probably like a mix of both. And the ID insinuation. I'm trying to look like this terrorist, basically. Okay. And I'm going to like come in and make a lot of noise and try to draw the police to like chase me.
So I think that's distract. I think that this will have great effect because of fox-shaped shadow. And I'll give you a choice. You can either make this controlled or I'll give you an extra die for your id insinuation.
Ooh, I will make it controlled.
Okay.
And I will, I think I can either take a devil's bargain or push myself.
Devil's bargain. I think devil's bargain will be ticking the clock for the arrival of the Shogunate agents.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay.
Absolutely. I will take, so that's 2 dice. Okay. All right. Let's see how it goes. 6. Yes. Yes, I got a 6.
So let me put a little Shogunate agents in here. Put them on the table. So tell me what that looks like. What do we see on screen happen?
On screen, what happens is my psychic machinery starts to come to life. I place a hand on the wanted poster and pick up the psychic energy from it. And I whisper to myself, big boy, it's been a while since I've been one of these. And then the parts of my machinery start to fold in and fold amongst themselves until they collect to take on his form. And then I come out, that kind of voice of like, ora, 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 like that kind of energy. And I have these big guns that are not real, by the way. Like, they're just completely fake. And I start calling the cops names and saying things like, your mother was a great time last night.
And the crowd will, when people, because you're standing in the shot, like the camera goes back and we see you, and then we see the poster and it looks identical. And the crowd starts, kind of moving away, and the Doshin, they pull out their stun batons and they come chasing after you as you take off down the street. And you've got a heavy loadout. You say loadout to heavy, I see. So you look unsubtle, and we will chase you. And don't forget, you have 8 items because of your rigging. So you're good on that. So there's still some crowd here, but the Doshin and the sort of people who will be just absolutely eagle-eyed on the ship have gone. So what do you want to do, Fuji?
This building that you mentioned, it looks like it's about to fall over.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been evacuated?
They're sort of in the process of evacuating it right now, but it's not fast.
I look at Tomoe. If we can bring that building, if we can get the people out to bring that building down, we can destroy the shuttle and any evidence in there. Make it harder to figure out whether there are bodies there.
Take longer, certainly. Do you have the equipment for it?
I'm always carrying explosives.
Handy to know.
But
You take the lead on this then. Explosives are not my thing.
do you think you can find a doctor to grab this list of chemicals?
Leave it with me, and I'll take the list. I'll get him to text the list over to me or bulletin post or whatever, and back in a few.
I'll head into the building and start yelling, "Fire! There's a fire!"
So tell me what you think is an appropriate skill for this Fuji, because part of it is that some of the people aren't getting out because they're kind of trapped in some spaces because of the way the building is. So what do we see you on screen doing to clear this building out?
This may sound like an odd question.
Yeah, please.
But since I'm not being particularly careful with like how I'm lifting things to get people clear from, say, rubble and wreckage, would destroy fit?
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that I'm going to say this is a desperate thing because this building is in very bad shape.
Right.
But let's have you destroy. And what we're actually right now is this is clearing the building of innocence. You're taking the time to do that.
Yes.
Punching holes through to get to spaces. So yeah, let's
lifting support beams up to get them out.
Yeah. So desperate roll. So you'll get a tick on act. And you've got 2 dice from destroy. Do you have any equipment to help with this that I should know about? Or
do my cybernetic legs come into play here, considering that I can jump long, like ridiculously high distances? Can they also help lift items?
Yeah, I'll give you potency. So great effect. Yeah. So desperate, great effect right now.
All right. What kind of devil's bargain can you offer?
Ooh, there should be someone important to him in the building.
I say that
or at least a kid that I can hear crying. Something like
well,
that.
The devil's bargain is a thing that will be a thing that bad that happens here.
Okay.
So I think the devil's bargain is that one of your Yakuza boss's people is here and will see you, and this is going to be kind of unusual. Are you willing to take that?
You know what? I will. I can explain it away later.
All right. So that'll be 3 dice, desperate, and great effect.
All right. I'm rolling the blue ones. Boom. 6.
Like last week, you guys rolling like mad persons. So yeah, I think that you kick in one of these doors that's kind of jammed, and we see Psycho Tora, who's one of your boss's lieutenants, who's here, and he's like, "Whoa, what? How, Taiji?" And you probably don't make time for him because you just want to get people out of here, right?
Right. Exactly. I'll explain it next week.
And yeah, you throw people out, you move people out of things, you're punching through walls. We see that whole montage of you getting the whole building cleared. And the building kind of, we still see the shaking, the vibration. They're shaking the cell in the back of the animation to do that. And we see you clear that. Tell me what you are doing while Fuji's getting this cleared. What are you doing, Tomoe?
Fuji sent me to find an autodoc. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find an ambulance with the
Okay.
MT word.
Yeah, I think that's not a problem. What do you want to use to get this stuff out and get it without people like seeing you rip open this ambulance vending machine?
Well, I'm actually going to try and steal. I'm going to try and disable the people in the ambulance and steal the ambulance.
Okay.
Because
all right.
this gives us a perfect cover to go through this district.
So what do you think? Is that stalk to do it quietly?
Stalk is more about the stealth, but I think this is the bit of take.
Okay, then let's do that. So right now you're at 1 die.
Okay. I think I'm going to use. I'm going to push myself to gain an additional dice.
Okay, so 2 dice. Risky standard to get a hold of this ambulance, and it looked quiet.
That's a 5.
So I think that you can get a hold and get these people knocked out who are manning the ambulance, but I think that it's going to be hard to move the vehicle anywhere up close just because of the road and the patterns and things like that, to get this anywhere close by. Now that is a consequence, so you can resist that if you wish.
No, that's fine. I wanted to secure the vehicle, and more importantly, I wanted to secure the uniforms.
Okay. So vehicle uniforms, you will get a hold of that. Himitsu, you've drawn these people off. I assume that Fuji has, that since we just said that you have comms, that Fuji has informed you of their plan. So what do you want to do next? You know that when they bring the building down, that ship's going to be gone for any kind of investigation. I'll just mention that.
Oh gosh, wait, no, must investigate. I am going to lose these clowns and try to get back in time.
You had controlled, you had great effect. So what is it that you do that sends him on a wild goose chase?
I'm going to say that I'm trying to see if I have gear that would support this idea. Like there's a way I can slip out of the illusion, the hologram, and I can let it keep moving for a short bit towards a certain area while I slip off.
Maybe let's look at your thing here.
The nano disguiser, or
yeah. Let's say that you want to use that, or your subterfuge supplies. I'm good with either one.
Yeah, I mark both anyway, just to be
okay.
With this embarrassment of riches.
Yeah. So you mark that, so I don't think we have to have a roll. You can make your way back to the ship or somewhere else if you want. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I definitely want to get more information on the ship. So I want to use my I remember there was something here about being able to get information.
Records.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to, I have 1 die in that, but I'm also going to push myself to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to risk them coming closer just yet. So I'll have 2 dice.
let's have you roll 2 dice then.
Okay. Ooh, where did the tab go? There it is. Okay.
So risky standard.
Sounds good.
Unless you want to use equipment to boost the effect.
I was actually going to ask if I could drop it down to desperate so I can push up the effect to great.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right. I love blades. I love the system. Okay, so yeah. Okay, rolling now. 6, yes. Oh gosh.
You guys are killing me. So what kind of tech or things do you imagine that you have to scan or detect? I mean, and think full anime. What do we see as you're checking this place out here? Is it plugging the computer and getting videos? Is it some kind of like psychic reconstruction? What do you think we see?
Yeah, I think it's a psychic version of Batman from the video games, but I feel like Kimetsu can split themselves into different versions as they recreate the scene, all CSI Batman like, and it's one of those like anime moments where the voice just fills in that they came in through here, they did this, and so on and so forth.
We will see that, and you go. There's a dead pilot. Essentially, they were killed on impact. Kind of check that out, and then we see you kind of move, and we'll see you visualize a passenger, a woman, and you see the crash. You see her knocked, and injured, and then you see she kind of does something else, and I'll come back to that in a second. But you'll see some people come in, look like scavenger people, and you can see they grab her and grab some stuff from this thing and get out. And that would have been the sort of standard result. But with that great effect, we'll see you kind of home in. What was she doing? And we'll see you go back, and you'll see a cargo compartment, and you'll kind of visualize, and you see her put this kid in the cargo compartment. And there's some things you'll see after those first scavengers come in. You'll see a group of what look like maybe teens. Just you're getting that come in and search the place and find this kid and take this kid. Does that seem like fair info?
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot to go on.
Let's come back to Fuji. Fuji, tell me how you bring this building down.
Well, first, I'm going to make sure Himitsu's got what she needs.
So Fuji, what happened to subtlety? But all right, I'm going to get out. I have what I need.
Listen, this is a distraction, if nothing else. Nobody's going to pay attention to anything we're doing in the neighborhood if this building comes down.
Fine. I trust you on this, Fuji, so let's do it your way.
And I've placed some charges on structural weak points low on the building to make sure the entire thing comes down.
Okay.
I don't just part of this thing coming down. I want all of it. So it's going to look like a boiler explosion.
Okay. You want to use your demolition tools then to increase the effect?
Why, that sounds exactly like the sort of thing that I would do. And then does that mean that I mark that one of those empty boxes down at the bottom?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I figured those were there for unspecified.
Oh, actually, no, you've got actually on your items thing off to on the left-hand side next to your dangerous friends. You have demolition tools over there.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Ah, nice. Yes. Okay. I will check that.
All right.
Do I have to check both of them or just the one?
I think that the way she's got it set up, it is just the one.
Okay. So yeah, I'll use my demolition tools, and I believe this really feels like destroy.
Yeah. So this is still desperate because this is a dangerous building. Mm-hmm. But with the demolition tools, great effect if you can pull this off.
I think I want to
and,
push myself.
Absolutely. Mark a
And that's
couple
2
stress.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 stress.
You're losing money
Okay.
not doing that. So 3 dice.
All righty. Let's see what we got. 6, 2, 4.
6. Another 6, huh? That's what I'm hearing here. Tell me what that looks like when this building goes over onto the ship there.
Well, we're all clearing out. And in true anime fashion, it cuts immediately to the timer and you see it ticking down. 3, 2, 1. And then there's just like a bright flash. The screen turns white. And there's this concussive wave traveling upward and outward. And it just completely takes out the ground floor walls. So you see this building start to tilt a little bit more, and you hear structural groaning and creaking and collapsing. And then it just tilts over like a domino and starts fragmenting as the top of it hits a building across the way, and rubble starts flying everywhere. And it completely crushes this ship, almost atomizing it. It is so flat. They could look for a year and not be able to identify anything that was even remotely human in it.
Buried under this rubble. Luckily, you pushed away the crowds, and you cleared the building, so no one was harmed miraculously in the fall of this thing, and it looked perfectly natural. Like no one's like, well, that seems like an explosion. No, it looks like this was a natural outgrowth of that ship having clipped this building, and it is concealed. Let's come back to Tomoe with the evidence covered, with the information gathered in the ship. What's your next step?
Sorry, muted. I think we need to get back together and actually come up with a plan on what's needed. So I'm driving the ambulance away with the sirens on,
Okay.
making it look like I'm going to the hospital. I'll let the other 2 over a link know what to do. And literally, I'll as they get near, I'm still going at speed. I'll open the back doors and get them to ride their bikes up into the back of the ambulance itself.
I like that. So the 3 of you will be able to get together. You can set the ambulance on auto run while the 3 of you talk. Bikes are in the back.
I'll throw them the spare uniforms that they got in there for disguises. So what do we have?
Well, and at this point, I pull up the information, and it's a mix of psychic information and tech information. I throw it all around the interior of the ambulance so you can see what I saw. And I say, we need to find her and we need to find the kid. And there were 2 different groups. Scavengers, it looked like, for one, and the other, a group of teens. I don't know.
Do we have any leads on these scavengers?
Let me see what I can pull up. And I'm going to try to see if they match any databases, if these kids have been pulled in, or if there's any surveillance as I start tapping into that. I think that is records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am more interested in the kids, the second group, or the older scavengers, the first group.
Ooh. Yeah, because I feel like the kid's important. I feel like the kid's the cargo.
Okay. Yeah, let's have you make a roll for me with records.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So I have what devil's bargain do we have?
Oh, well, I've got this clock that's just sitting at 1.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Absolutely. You guys are rolling so many 6s. This will never be a problem.
Don't jinx before I roll. Okay, I'm gonna roll now.
So risky standard as a default.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll drop it down to desperate and great
Okay.
again.
All right.
Okay, come on. A 5 this time, but it's on a desperate. So
5 on a desperate. Okay.
I
So
gave that to you though.
yeah. Well, I think the effect here of you pulling through of these, somebody of your skill level pulling through the records, that ping is going to go up, and the effect is going to be 2 ticks on the clock for the shogunate agents coming here. You can resist that if you wish,
Yeah.
but the other thing is you will kind of pull up, and you probably connect up to the various like Doshin police boxes and things, and eventually you'll pull up, and it looks like that's a local go ganger group, like teens with homemade bikes that are in this area. They're called Red Zao, and yeah, you can pull that info up and get a couple of 3 likely loitering locations. There are several gangs here that, in classic fashion, race against each other, but there's not that much in terms of misdemeanors for them. Just mostly traffic stuff and things. It doesn't seem like they're violent or otherwise. Does that seem like fair info?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'll say, Tomoe, I have good news for you. There's going to be a chance for you to race, show off to these kids, beat them at their own game. And I send that info. I'm also going to, like, at the same time, like, my fingers like split up into numerous things as I try. I'm going to resist the ticks, the 2 ticks.
All right. Then roll me 2 dice.
Plus the extra because of our
That's
forged in fire.
right.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh wow, my highest is 2. It was bound to happen.
Well, I love that. I was going to like make the resist only take off 1 tick, but with that cost, I'll let you take all of that stress there. All that stress that you worked at. What does that put you at, Cypher?
That puts me at, I have 2 boxes left, so I could trauma out.
Yes, but and for this, because of the way it is, it's if you go past that final box, would be the trauma. Okay, so let's come back to Fuji.
I'm listening to this information about the motorcycle gang, and I'm saying that I realize this sounds strange coming from me, but perhaps we could just bribe them? Maybe even turn them into eyes on the street for us if we give them access to motorcycle parts or access to equipment that they can use to upgrade their bikes.
But there's a question of, why did they take the kid in the first place? Are they working for someone, or are they scared of someone?
Again, I realize this may sound strange coming from me, but perhaps they saw a child in the wreckage of a vehicle and didn't want to leave it there because it's a dangerous place for a child to be.
Considering what I saw in great detail, did it look like that was what happening with the kids, or because it looked like they came in and out real quickly?
Yeah, it looks like they came in, kind of looked around like they were going to maybe start scavenging, and then someone popped that open, and they're like clearly surprised, and all thought of scavenging went out the window when they found this poor kid. No, clearly kind of knocked out by what had gone on back in this compartment.
Ooh, so it does look like Fuji's plan could be viable. Yeah, I'm gonna say, well, we can do it your way. We have 3 locations to hit. Let's see what comes up. We don't have much time, and we still have to try to track her down.
3 is too many.
Can we try
need to
to?
narrow the odds some more.
Sure. What do you suggest?
We know these children. We know this gang. I wonder if they've showed up on any of the local cameras.
Ah, I wonder if you can have a flashback to say that you've hung out with these kids before.
Excellent idea, in fact.
You are a racer, so.
Yes. So yeah, I would like to flash back at this point, and actually, my last opponent was actually a member of that gang.
One of the people that kind of graduated out and had come up here, maybe some of the gang were watching them. They weren't bad. Yeah, I think that is, you set the background, so I think that fits in. So I'm not going to charge you 2. I'm going to charge you 1 stress for that.
Okay.
What is the place that you would know then is their big hangout spot?
It's an old rundown abandoned bowling alley.
Okay. Got some parking space. They probably open the back door so people can ride bikes on in. There's probably 1 or 2 lanes that still operate. Probably just the sound of the thing coming down to pick up the pins and then going back up over and over again, like some sort of a platformer jaw thing going on. Yeah, so you will know about that. Do you want to head that way, or do you want to do something else? What do you want to do?
I think if everyone else is okay, I think we should get over there and let's see if we can get this kid.
Okay. So we do this scene. We probably cut to a shot somewhere in the distance of an airship coming this way. We'll see some people in dark clothing. They might be cyber samurai. There might be something else, but they are coming. We can tell that they are on the way. But then we cut to this bowling alley, and you can see that the gang is clearly here. There are a couple of watch people that are outside as the are you coming in ambulance or are you coming on bikes?
I think we should be coming in on bikes at this point.
Okay.
We'll park the ambulance under an overpass or something and come in on the bikes themselves.
So there's a couple of the guard people that are outside, a couple of the bikes. They narrow their eyes. None of their bikes look as nice as yours, as any of yours. They're put together on scraps. You can tell the people who have to stand watch are the ones that have the crappiest bikes. So they're kind of standing there. It looks like some of the engines are stolen from tuk-tuks and things like that. They look at you as you ride up and do that kind of thing where they straighten up and get their shoulders all set and to impress. How do you want to play this?
So ride straight up, and I'll basically pull up to them on the bike, stop, and reach up, and my helmet. It's a traditional cyberpunk thing of the helmet actually splits apart and then pulls back behind the head itself.
Absolutely. And one of them says, "Here's Steel Crane."
Yeah, I am
here.
I'm just scoping out the opposition. Race coming up. I say that though. There's a big prize purse coming up, and I'm looking for some other racers. Any of your guys interested? Anyone who'd like to spin the wheels against me and some of the others? Or some big names?
I think we'll see the glance go between them, like they're excited by this idea, like this is like, oh, we should go tell people. But you can also tell that they've clearly been given orders not to let anybody in. Like there's something going on, and they're like, And one of them says, "I'll go."
Oh, it's okay if you're not interested. I mean, yeah. I mean, we've got one of these beauties up on. Got the pink slip up from one of these beauties. But if you're not interested, I fully understand.
So what do you think you want to roll to convince them to let you in here?
Unfortunately, I think that's going to be cohort consort. That's
Okay.
what I should be. That's what I should be rolling.
Yes, I do
Yeah,
think so.
I don't have any.
I could talk you up if you want. Like I could come
I would
in and say, yeah.
I would appreciate that, but looking at your stress.
It's just one stretch. Mitsu got plenty left.
You okay doing that?
Yeah. I will do it for you. No worries.
So mark a stress. So that will bring you to 1 die in consort.
Yeah.
Do you also want to push yourself?
I think
or would
so.
you like a devil's bargain?
Ooh. I will. I'll listen to the devil's bargain.
Oh, well, I think that's me ticking that clock up.
Oh, yeah. How many boxes is the clock?
It is only at 2, so you're losing money not doing that.
So how many is it in total?
6.
Okay, so yes,
Go for
by
it.
all means.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, clicking that up. So you got 2 dice.
I wish I could show you this. That's the 6.
Yeah.
Guys are killing me. And their desire to maybe have a chance for someone in the gang to get one of these bikes overcomes their thing, and they gesture clearly for if you guys want. One of them will take you in on foot. The other one will kind of stay out here, and they will kind of open the door and move the 3 of you on inside.
And as we go in, I'm going to open my senses to the chi in the place and try and actually see any life forms and any living creatures inside.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm looking for particularly short ones.
Yeah, I think again your sensors are a brilliant thing. What is the on-camera effect? What is the special effect we see for that when you activate your sensors so that the audience knows that you pinged?
Have you seen Avatar the Last? No, you've seen Avatar the Last Airbender. You know when Toph uses her vibration sense, and then there's this dark world where everything's in silhouette, and it's like that. But instead of seismic sensors, it's people breathing the chi. People breathing in chi from the dragon lines, breathing out chi, and it's those vibrations, those breaths that I actually detect.
And I think you will get a clean dozen of these gang members who are here, out in this open space of the bowling alley. But I think then you'll also the camera will kind of turn and you can see the office counter where the shutters are down, where they would have had the shoes and things, and you'll get a ping of another person over there and a very short person clearly laying on some kind of cot or something. How do you 3 want to play this? Fuji, Himitsu, we've had Tomoe take the lead. Anything you 2 want to do? And again, our thing is always that you can share information, that we assume that information has been shared.
Right. So we saw that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Puckett.
I was going to say, I really want to hang back because my skill set is the last ditch effort here.
Yeah, Himitsu's more the talker than I am. So I think she should take the lead.
Yeah.
Mitsu, how do you want to play this?
Yeah, so I know that Tomoe knows where the kid is, right?
Yeah, and probably has pinged you that info so you know.
And I'm gonna look for the leader of this group, the Lord of the Flies, kid leader.
Yeah. He's a tough, hardened 14-year-old, with a leather jacket that you're guessing comes from an older brother because it just doesn't quite fit. He's got like a 3-lane mohawk that you can tell just he's done it himself with a razor, and he's kind of trying to look tough there. They've got a couch that they've brought. He would look tougher, but that couch kind of he has to sink down, so he has to sit forward on the edge so he's not down in it. And the others are clearly bowing to them.
Yeah, and so I've also made sure that I'm not going to walk in looking like a skeleton.
What do you look like?
Yeah, I think I look like I've seen Tomoe on the track. I know there are people who help out with her bike and stuff. I look like someone from the crew who like patches up the bike every so often. So there's like a large band-aid across my nose, messy hair, large freckles, big glasses. And so I'm going to walk up to the kid and sort of like give a little bow and say, so I hear that you are tough enough and enough. I've heard about you on the street. I think you can take on Steel Crane.
And he knows enough to know that he's like, well, what is it you want? What is it you want with Anubis?
I hide a snort. I mean, it's a cool name, but you can
tell it's a name they gave themselves.
Yeah, definitely. So I look at them dead in the eye and I say, Anubis, huh? How close to death do you want to come? And I say, let's make this interesting. Instead of money, let's say information. You know something that we would like to know. And kid, going up against Steel Crane, not everybody can get that gig.
Let's have you roll consort or insinuate, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm being pretty honest, so I think it'll be consort.
Okay.
So it's 2 dice. Could I ask for help from Tomoe? Could you just like
yes,
look super awesome?
I'm standing there. I'll brush out my hair.
Yeah, look really hot. Perfect.
Brush it down, put it back on, and make sure everyone sees the insignia. And
Absolutely.
That's an extra die.
Yeah, so rolling with the 3 dice. Highest is 5. Whew.
Oh, well, I tell you what that consequence is. It's this lovely clock. Look at me ticking that up 1, and I'm assuming you're not resisting that.
No, not at the 1.
4 out of 6. Anubis, they sit up, get themselves straight. They click this jacket, and they're like, "You're on." Tell me, Steel Crane, you're going to absolutely defeat them.
Oh yeah.
But tell me what that looks like. How do you play this? Here, there's like a track that they chose this place because a track real close by. So what does that race look like? Do you trash them? Do you do an edge? Do you play it normal? How do you manage that?
We do the track. We do the track. We come up. At one point, I'm gonna skip slightly, and he's gonna take the lead. And I'm deliberately putting it so that he's leading all the way. And then just at the last moment, I'm gonna edge past him and actually give him that whole thing of, I could have done it. I was so close.
Yeah, there's that moment when they get that skid because they know that they're like, oh, well, I know the track, you don't, and then they gun it, to hear the sound of their vehicle just revving, redlining, and then boom, you cut back at the end, and there's cheering, and then but then cheering because this is the steel crane came, and they're very excited, and the bikes will kind of come back up to the bowling alley, and this guy, a person, Anubis, kind of takes off their helmet. They don't have a fancy one. They set it down. They're like, all right, you won. Turns to you, Himitsu. What is it you want to know?
Actually, I'm going to mark off armor just so that I'm going to say, here, kid, a consolation prize. And I give them a fancy ass armor, like all Anubis, tricked out, god of death. Yeah, with the glowing eyes. And I'll say, you did so well. I've never seen Himitsu sweat that hard. And I say...
Now you got the name wrong. I don't feel so bad.
Oh, yeah, that's true. There you go. If I did it myself. But then I say, now look, kid. Do you want to know a secret about us?
They lean in. Okay.
No, come on. The truth is, we're kind of like superheroes. You know what I mean? Like, we help protect people, right? Kids like you, kids younger than you two. We know that someone needs our help, and I think some other heroes got to them first, but we're the ones who can really take care of this kid. Do you understand what I'm saying?
There's a kind of they kind of look around, and you're talking about the kid from the ship.
That's the one.
The one in the back room.
Yeah, I think we were right. Just like you said, Tomoe, this kid got a look of a hero about them.
Yeah, and they're just looking for maybe some strip. We saw a group of yaks went in, and we waited till they were gone, and we went in, and we just wanted to see what it was left over, and then Midnight found the kid in a compartment. We brought him back. This kid's not. He's all fancied up and stuff, and he wouldn't have survived out here on the road. He's still kind of unconscious in there. If you guys can take care of him, we were just gonna try and protect him for a while until we figured out where to find his parents.
Yeah. You did such a good job. I think we know where their parents could be, but how about we take over for now? But you are officially part of our superhero team.
And at that point, I'll reach into the jacket and I'll pull out a hollow sticker and slap it onto the bike.
Nice. They get they took the helmet. The gang now is they will bring out this kid, maybe 7, maybe 8. This is a kid who has not seen really a day of hard labor. There's some calluses on the fingers from maybe some sword training, but otherwise, skin is clean, the nails are clean, the hair is cut, and you can tell that the marks of the clothing are marks of the shogunate.
Battery, please charge.
That was weird. I heard batteries, please charge. Was that?
Yeah, I'm using earbuds, and
okay.
I thought they had a longer battery life than this. Sorry.
That's okay. They will hand off this kid, and they'll say, "We gave him some stuff, some of the narco heal, and he's still out."
That's good. You did real good. And Anubis, I'm gonna let you talk to Tomoe because Tomoe is gonna be your handler.
First thing you need to do is you need to get out of this location.
Okay.
The act that you saw earlier may have been looking for the child, and we don't want to place you in danger. Find a new clubhouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's an abandoned mall we were scouting out. We'll move everybody over there.
Good.
And
Do it quickly.
they'll do the gesture, the get up, everybody ride, and the gang will all pull onto their bikes, and they will buzz out of this place.
Before they do that,
Uh-huh.
I'd like to ask them if they know who the scavengers were, if they know who the yaks were, or where they hang out.
Yeah, they'll say, yeah, those are the Kumagis. They're over at Pachinko Unlimited. That's where they've got their holdout.
Pachinko Unlimited, you said?
Yeah, it's a Pachinko laser dive bar.
Himitsu, it's my lucky day.
And my unlucky one. Another pachinko place? Are you kidding me?
They might have some good stuff there.
I guess. Anyway,
I'm sure I'll have a minute or two to look around.
Absolutely. Yeah, but how I'll stay with the kid. But I will back you up. I think we have enough time to try to see if we can get to our contact before anyone else does. We have to make sure they survive. And also your cadaver plan, do we still need it considering things blew up?
I'm thinking that we might be able to make some new cadavers if we need to. But
Oh, wow. That makes sense.
I know you're shocked, but you have to admit I've been a model of restraint.
Yeah. Thanks for letting Tomoe and I take care of the kids.
I don't hurt kids.
So I think we're going to cut to Fuji outside this pachinko place. It's like a multi-story building. Probably got offices upstairs. The parlor is downstairs. It's on a corner, so there are two doors kind of coming in at an angle, and we hear the all through here, and all of them are the upgraded fancy ones. So they all have laser pew, 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 special effects on the things, and it's all flashing in lights, and we just see these kind of gray-faced salarymen hitting the levers, with the light flashing on their faces as you come in. And there's definitely the person at the counter there looks up and sees you. And what's your demeanor? Are you like, hey, I'm coming in, or are you like, hey, I'm coming in?
Well, first of all, Tomoe, did you set up on a building across the street so you could be on Overwatch with your rifle and your
Oh,
GPS?
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Just making sure so that I know that if I need to say second floor, third window, there's a bullet coming through it. So yeah, I'll just kind of walk in like you guys might have some vintage machines here.
Maybe we got some old ones in the back, old boards, old things.
You looking to clear out some space in here?
Let me call one of the people from upstairs, and I'll have them come down and talk to you.
And in the meantime, I'm just saying, do you have a line on how many people are on the floors upstairs? Anybody in a basement?
You're asking Tomoe, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay.
My chi sight's on, so if I'm over the road, I'm only going to be able to see the front few rooms. I'm not going to be able to see anything at the back.
Yeah, you'll get a sense that there's probably, upstairs maybe a half dozen people up there kind of in an office. In another room, definitely, again, much like the kid, there's definitely a room where they've got someone on a bed, and there looks like maybe there's someone treating them. Farther back, you're not sure. There might be more of the group here, and there's probably a dozen Sourmen downstairs in the parlor itself.
And I feed all that back to Fuji.
Good. I'm sure that that's enough bodies.
How do you want to play this, Fuji?
At this point, I'm waiting for the person from upstairs to come down, because that'll give me an easier access into the back, and I won't have to make a mess going through the building.
You'll see this woman. She's in, classic yak suit cut there, and tight cropped hair, scar across the face there, and she will come down and she walks over and she says, "You're looking to buy older pieces, as I understand it?"
I'm always looking for pieces for my collection, but only vintage machines.
Why don't you come back tomorrow, and I will have our crew pull out.
I wish I could, but I'm traveling through the area on business. I just saw this place and thought I'd take a look. You know how these things go. Sometimes you walk into a place and you find a hidden treasure.
Absolutely, and perhaps you can do that on your way back from your trip. You can come back through. We're not prepared right now for any kind of sales.
Again, I wish I could, but I don't live here. I was traveling here on business.
That is more the pity. I guess our fates do not align.
This really saddens me. My
No
heart
more
is hurt.
than me. And she gestures to the guy behind the counter. She says, "Give him some credits on the machines. Hopefully that will make up for this momentary loss."
And I kind of hit my subvocal communicator and say, "Tomai, can you paint her?"
Any particular body part?
Bridge of the nose, right between the eyes. Exactly where
Got
this
it.
person at the desk will see the dot.
You got it. And at that point, I'll reach back. I'll pull back my bow. There's a glow of energy that starts coming up from the ground, and it's basically coming from the ground itself, going through myself up into the bow. And the bow has these concentric holographic rings that come out the front of it, and then it's single beam, and it rests.
Fuji, you may roll debilitate to force this person out of your way.
And
All right.
I think I'm assisting at this point, so
Sure.
I'll spend the stress for it.
So there's 2 dice.
Plus
Devil's
one,
bargain?
So there'll be, you've got 3 dice then. Yeah, I'll tick the clock up more.
Okay.
That'll be
How about
4
that?
dice. You're losing money not doing that.
Oh, fine. I will roll the rightmost pink die over the shogunate and over the temple entrance. Okay.
So 4 dice.
4116.
I saw all those ones. Oh gosh, good thing you got that. Oh gosh.
So there's a moment where you can tell that she's got some comms, and the person behind the counter clearly gives her the heads up, and she says, well then, yes, if you wish to look at our materials, I'm sure that we can make time right now.
I am honored. Thank you.
And she'll begin walking you back to the back of the thing, and she will lead you through free and clear. Tomo, you will definitely see the people upstairs in the room, like people are like standing up, like they've gotten word that something's coming.
Be aware you've got company coming down.
Of course. How many?
How many did we say were up there?
About a half dozen.
How many are moving down or toward the stairs? And how many are staying in the room?
3 and 3.
It's only
Good.
3.
Fuji, I assume we get the sequence now. As you come in, there are stairs up to the thing. You kind of turn, look up, and you will see three Yakuza. They've got, they start pulling out vibro blades and shatter bats, and are moving down the stairs. What do you do?
I draw my gun blades. And they are small machine pistols with blades that are about 2.5 feet long on them.
Let's have you roll strike.
All righty.
Do you want to push it?
I want my mouse to actually click. And let's see. How much would it's too stressed to push it?
Yeah.
Well, goodness gracious, I've got 4 boxes to go.
Yeah.
Of course, let's push it.
Absolutely.
Is there any kind of assistance that Tomoe can be providing from outside?
Or Himitsu, Tomoe's covering, Himitsu's covering. Either one of you want to help?
Ooh, if I have, I'm going to trauma out.
Okay. How are you going to help, Tomoe?
Well, I can provide covering fire, but as they were coming through the door, I was thinking I was actually going to. So one of these ones which open the mechanical doors that opens rather than a pusher one.
Sure.
In which case, I'm going to do the Han Solo trick of shooting the actual controls on the door through the wall, and actually from the external wall, and basically causing the door to shut and isolating at least some of them in the room, so that not as many get out.
Sure. So mark a stress. And let's have you roll strike there, Fuji.
All right. And once again, I'm rolling with the rightmost pink die.
And you took 2 stress for pushing yourself, right?
Yes, I clicked them.
Okay. So 4 dice.
2, 1, 6, 1.
Why do you roll all these 1s and then the 6? I think the shot, we hear the gunfire, the smashing, people inside the room. We don't actually see the fight. Like we see the people upstairs are like trying to boop, 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 and trying to get ready. And I think that's probably the time at which you take the door or the wall out to get in? You're muted.
Walls are perfectly good doors.
Okay, so we'll see that smash through. Essentially, the carry through, probably throwing a person in front of you, and you will take out the other 3 in this room as you come crashing through. There's alarms going off, but right now you have control of the situation. And you can make your way into the other room, and you will find like a black market ripper doc that they've hired to do basic medical treatment. And this older woman who is clearly a little worse for wear, given the crash and so on, and the manhandling that has occurred since then.
I put the gun in the ripper doc's face and say, "Is she stable?"
Yes, sir. She is very stable. She is absolutely stable. There's no problem whatsoever. I think that she will be fine and live a nice, happy life, a long life, much like myself.
I'm glad we understand each other.
Oh, most assuredly we do, sir.
I have also
that-
transmitted your picture to my colleagues. So
Oh.
if
And
anything happens to her, something will happen to you.
and at that point, I shoot him in the back.
I don't think we need to roll for that. I think there is that moment where we will see the Ripper Doc kind of standing up and then keel over.
I realize it's odd for me to say this, but that was unnecessary.
I don't think so.
All right. You're the one watching my back. I'll defer to your judgment. I'm sure you saw something I didn't. And I will put the woman over my shoulder and thank heavens for my cyber legs that allow me to jump ridiculous distances, because I can just go straight out the window.
Himitsu, what have you been doing to lay the groundwork for your evac escape?
Ooh, yeah. I think I made sure that our bikes were good and ready. But I also made sure that there was a nice big distraction nearby. I had the terrorists show up again.
Oh yeah, ran that off there. The Doshans, new alerts come in on their thing, and they were chasing it off. I think there's we see you coming back. That disguise kind of peeling off and going a different direction as you run for your bike. We see Fuji come off the third floor down to the ground and then over to the bike. Do you think it's more acrobatics or rappelling or what for the sweet shot of you coming down off the roof, Tomoe?
I think I fired my bow. I've got that big burst of ammo behind me with like the shape of the wings. I think I just run and jump, and I swan dive. I flip over and I basically do a superhero landing on the ground, and the wings wrap around me as I do, and then vanish as the energy expands.
And we will see the bikes taking off, even as in the background we see the Shogunate agent ship kind of landing over in another section of the neighborhood, and we will see there's that anime trail as your bikes take off, and the mission is successful. Let's do XP, and then if you don't mind, we'll do just a quick stars and wishes, if you don't mind. Let's start with Fuji. Fuji, did you address a tough challenge with violence or threats?
I believe I did it with both, but
Yeah, I think a couple of times. I'll give you 2 points for that.
all right.
What did we learn about Fuji today?
That although violence is always a solution, it is not always the solution.
Interesting. So I'll give you a point for that. And did you think that your obsessions, ambitions, or faults caused a problem during the thing?
I don't think so, although
Are
it
you
kind of came close in the pachinko
clearing
parlor.
the innocents out of that building?
Okay, you're right.
So I'll give you a point for that. Let's.
And then didn't I roll a desperate action?
Yeah, you always mark those immediately when you roll those.
Okay.
You marked them on
On the particular group that you rolled.
Okay.
Steel Crane. Did you address a tough challenge with violence or tracking?
I don't think I really addressed a tough challenge with violence. I'm not really sure I actually did it with tracking myself.
I think
you
given
shot the guy.
Yeah, I think there's at least a point worth of a mix of those things there. So I'll give you a point for that. What did we learn today about Steel Crane?
Steel Crane is a killer. When they order to kill, they kill. And the safety of the group is more important than the safety of someone outside it.
Absolutely. So I'll give you a point for that. Did your obsessions, ambitions, or faults cause a problem for the mission?
I don't think so in this instance.
Sure. Let's come to Himitsu. Did you address a tough challenge with deception or influence?
Yeah, I think so.
2 points on that. Did a bunch of that.
Mhm.
What did we learn? What did the audience learn about Himitsu this time? Background, drives, history, what they do, any of those things.
I think they learned that Himitsu has a soft spot for kids. I think Himitsu would actually like more than anything to be a parent, but it's just too dangerous to be
Oof.
one.
Give you a point for that. Did your obsessions, ambitions, or faults cause any problems for the mission?
I don't think so, though.
Okay. Don't think so, but still, that's 3 points total, so that's pretty good. And what we'll do next time is I will just give you your group an advance for the cell, and you'll get to pick something else. We'll come to that. Let's do just a quick stars and wishes, since I'm running right up against the time here. Let me go same order. Puckett, anything you'd like to say, stars or wishes about the session?
I really liked how Gerwin introduced his character and the little bits of characterization we got throughout it, like the hollow sticker and then just sniping the Ripper Doc. And it's like, wait, you're like super kind on the one hand, and then you're just absolutely ruthless on the other. I think we learned a lot about Himitsu this time as well, and I really enjoyed that. Particularly the bit about, the exchange with the whole coffee thing. And it's like, seriously, with this gaijin shit? So again, another fun session.
Anything you want to point to, wishes, things you'd like to see in the next few sessions?
Now that we've introduced the motorcycles, I'd love to see Steel Crane do some racing.
Okay.
Like some actual racing as opposed to just like a street gang. And I mean, getting the Baker Street irregulars, for lack of a better term at the moment, to kind of like do some scouting work, or just, like being in the neighborhood and annoying one of our targets to get them clear of somebody else. I'd like to see them come into play.
Okay. Seems like a good request. Gerwin brought you in. Thank you, by the way, for coming in absolutely stone cold and killing it today. Much appreciated. Stars or wishes that you want to put out?
Well, first of all, stars. Himitsu, that was such a good call with actually linking in the background. I hadn't even thought of that. Absolutely brilliant, and it's the way that this sort of game is supposed to be played. It's so nice to have a talker on the team as well when you've got two brutes. The whole, you really played into the whole anime aesthetic with the whole with the distractions and the way that you're doing them, and actually the theme of it, and it was wonderful. It was brilliant. And this will come into one of my wishes later, but I really hope we get to see that terrorist later on.
Yeah, I want that to bite me in the ass for sure.
And Fuji, wow. The whole way that you actually describe things, and the way that you've got a really good, I'm trying to think of the right words for this. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this.
Okay.
The way you're actually describing the things, and the way you're actually planning it, you're thinking ahead of it, and in a lot of ways that we aren't. We rushed into it, and you came up with a way to actually hide the fact that the person survived the crash, which none of us thought of ahead of time. And going forward, I think that's going to play a big part of whether we actually survive as a team or not, because we really don't want the clan finding out. And it's just that foresight. Absolutely brilliant, mate, and I appreciate it.
I will say this: I've run variations on this scenario a few times, and I've never seen a group hide the wreckage. And I was like, oh, that's really effing clever. That was really good.
And as to wishes, yes, I want to see that. I want to see that terrorist show up at some point.
Okay.
I want us to cross paths, and I want him. I want him to be mad that someone has actually raised his profile and got people looking for him again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, twice.
Excellent. Jamie, I'm going to give you last word for Stars and Wishes here.
Yeah, oh my gosh, stars for the system. I'm so in love with it. And I just really love the world. I love how it's coming together. I always have so much fun playing these types in Forged in the Dark, but I feel like it's especially fun with the whole anime cyberpunk aesthetic. It just really amps it up for me. And I really loved Anubis. Anubis is my favorite. They were so cool and cute. I love them and their group. So my wish is like to interact with them more.
Okay.
And I really also liked how Tomoe just like went full in with, yeah, I owe her money. I thought that was so good. So I'd like to see more of that as well. I liked how we got a little bit of everything today. It felt like a really complete session. We got roleplay, we got this really fun mission. I thought it was a really good one with the clashing stuff against it. It was super fun. It was like a lot of fun. So in terms of wishes, I agree. I'd like that terrorist to show up and be mad at me. I think I also need to figure out like how I can bring in our beliefs drives heritage and background into it. Like I'll think about that some more.
Okay.
But
yeah, I always do it. The question I always ask, because that belief drives heritage background is always a little odd. I always just want to. I always want to know what we learned, what we've seen new, what we didn't know about something that they do or things like that. So yeah, I think that's it. It's fun to think about that stuff. Anything else you want to say?
I wish we had more than 2 sessions left. It's really so much fun. It's really I love Fortune in the Dark, but I love this iteration of it. It's really great.
Thank you all so much. I had a good time, and we'll see everyone next week. So I'm going to stop the recording. Let me stop.